This is the original, in his own manuscript, of Pavel Lisitsan's letter about his great and admired friend, Ivan Jadan, written in 1995, soon after he heard of my husband's death. Lisitsan's son, Gerasim Lisitsan, who's alive and in New York, wonderful person, helped me with the translation of his father's letter. I'd like to read a few words of what Lisitsan said about Jadan. He writes, in 1933, I came to Sochi Philharmonic Society, that's in the Caucasian Riviera, and I saw advertised a concert by Ivan Jadan. I was eager to purchase a ticket for this Jadan concert. When I first heard Jadan sing, I was astounded. I heard the freedom, the fluidity of his singing, and the incredible beauty of his voice. Up to now, this is 1995, he continues, I remember the way Jadan sang Werther. That's an opera that was written by Massenet, and this particular song is on the CD. You'll hear a selection from it in a minute. I remember the way, especially, that final note came to me. It seemed as though Jadan's last note had escaped from the concert hall, yet was still there, dissolving in air. And that is the way Jadan's voice is still with us here today. A museum of amazing artifacts that relate to freedom, which is the core, the heart and soul of the museum. The story of General Vlasov's army, of which Ivan Jadan was a member, is a story still unknown and untold for most of both American and Russian people. But we have this artifact, which is a helmet worn by a freedom fighter in the army of General Vlasov in 1944. At the time, Ivan Jadan was singing in Prague to help win the Russian Army of Liberation's success in overthrowing Stalin. It didn't quite work, but the heroic effort made is symbolized in this helmet, sent to us by a Russian out in Ames, Iowa, and which Bob carried up all 40, how many pounds was it, Bob?
Oh, it's not that heavy, Doris?
Oh, it's not that heavy, all right. Any lightheaded
I wouldn't want to wear it in battle, though. Although it would protect you. It's quite a neat artifact.
So these are the kinds of connections we have that we don't have in any other museum that I know about, not even in the Hermitage. Okay, cut.
This is truly one of the most astounding things in the museum. I believe Ivan received it as a Father's Day present from Doris, and it's a lignum vitae carving of a Rastaman done by Ray Samuel, a St. Johnian. Or if you've ever held or touched lignum vitae, you know that carving it is next to impossible. It's the hardest wood known to mankind. It sinks, and it's quite a neat artifact. And I know Ray considers this to be his finest work, and just one of the kind of neat things that we have in the museum that relate to St. John and to freedom and to Ivan and Doris.
If you were to drink a toast to Ray Samuel, to Bob, to you, Michael, we might use this lignum vitae goblet, which was produced by a sculptor in Coral Bay today. And it's worth drinking to lignum vitae as a sacred wood, because the roots go so deep. And that's where the beauty of its history is. Ivan had the blessed good fortune of being asked by David and Lawrence Rockefeller when he was working at Keneal for 5 years, soon after we came. Can you make these grow? They'd taken seeds from about the 5 or 6 last trees on St. John, tree almost extinct. And the good news is that through Ivan's 10 green thumbs, those trees sprouted and grew and are now found virtually all over St. John. It was a lignum vitae legacy, and Ivan had a leg up on that. There is oldest piece of lignum vitae anybody has around, a 350-year-old mortar, which also I was able to acquire from a St. Jonian. It's a mortar which Ivan prized, to let people feel the surface, how smooth it is. This is like Ray Samuel's carving. He used a glass and tried and got it so that you can see the grain and feel the wood. And it's a great thing for children to touch and feel.